So this is going to be the weekly love reading for the collective. We have you are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. And then spiritual connection. This relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. And I love you. These are very important words. So what I felt when I pulled these cards is seeing like above the like 3D limitation, you know, the everyday, like a lot of us are very guarded, have a hard time being vulnerable, you know, and really speaking our truths when it comes to relationships. You know, everybody's protecting themselves, being very mindful of how they show up, and almost like a, you know, chess game, trying to think of what the next person's going to do and how you're going to respond. So the limitless, just seeing things from a higher perspective, not allowing those, you know, human constraints or our past traumas, things like that, dictate how we show up, we're going to respond, seeing it from a more spiritual connection, something higher, like being mindful of our higher selves, speaking to our higher selves, and not being afraid to say, I love you, you know, and admitting our feelings, being vulnerable and authentic, and showing up in that unconditional love, which I think is kind of more of the bigger message here, coming from that place of unconditional love. It doesn't have the 3D restraints. We don't, you know, label everything. There's no blame, pointing fingers, things like that. Just accepting things from a bigger perspective, a higher perspective, and recognizing that there's kind of more maybe going on in these connections than we recognize, and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. At some point, someone's going to have to make the first move and be the one to kind of set the tone for that, which isn't always comfortable. I know that, but recognizing that we're limitless, you know, and you can do anything you choose to do. So if you see things from this perspective of love, and recognizing that everybody that we have a connection with is serving some type of purpose and growth on our journey, and accepting that. So your message this week would be just to try to see things from an unconditional love, a higher perspective, from our soul perspective, and not the limitless, you know, 3D stuff. So just be mindful what comes up, and if you are dealing with a connection where you feel things are shifting and changing, and you feel like you want to speak more of a truth, don't be afraid to do so. Put it out there. You never know, maybe you're the one that sparks that conversation and creates a safe space for the other person to maybe drop those guards down, and be vulnerable and be willing to, you know, speak true feelings, speak how you love, or how they love you, how they feel about you. So that is the weekly love message. Have a great week.